So I'm home, share what happened, the argument. And just some extra stuff started transpiring. He began to continue talking on Facebook. I haven't had posted a response, very, very brief response. None of it really I didn't think was really bothering me until I sat down and was eating. And I just felt this feeling of, Del, if you're hurting, it's okay, And so I thought about it, and I realized that, I am hurting. There was a huge part of me that just felt like, no, don't be bothered. Like, man, charge him. Like, who is he? He can think what he want to think. But the fact of the matter is, you are my biological father. You abandoned me at some point. At some point in my life, you stopped coming around, and that was your choice. I understand there are circumstances surrounding that decision, but that decision that you made was to let me go, to leave me be, to cease, all interaction with me, communication, support, financial support, all of that was deaded. And that was your choice. That to me is abandonment. And despite all of that, I still came to you. You didn't seek me out. When everything was all said and done and I got past how I was originally feeling, I allowed what your side of the story was to penetrate my heart, and I chose to believe your side of the story just as much as I believe my mom's side. And I allowed both of them to be able to exist in their truth and their perspective, their perception of their relationship and the circumstances surrounding the relationship, especially since a lot of what they say is, they pretty much line up. I've never slandered his name. I've never sullied his name, his reputation. I've never looked at him sideways. I was very and have always been very, very accepting of who I believed him to be as I was getting to know him. I was very accepting of, what I felt, being around him the few times that I was around him. So being the abandoned child, I gave him a couple of chances that he didn't earn. And I feel okay with that still. I don't regret that at all. However, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment comes in with the things he said to me today, especially, but also in the things that he wrote in my post to him, which was just a simple hello. It showed me what he thinks of me. It showed me that he has some very negative conclusions that he has drawn. And I'm not sure, where could you even get that stuff from? You don't even know me. We have no relationship. It's been a couple of years. He's never met JoJo. He's seen Ivan once when he was 8-9 months. So where did you draw all of these amazing conclusions about who I am and about how I am, and basically insulting my intelligence and my maturity and lack of wisdom? I don't get along with anybody. I do things wrong. I don't think things through. It's like, how do you know these things about me? I actually sat here and I allowed myself to feel the pain of not being understood by the man who abandoned me. The man who not only abandoned me, but he has chosen not to give me or to extend to me the grace that I've extended to him. And that's just crazy to me. So what I did was I allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to feel the pain of being misunderstood, to be insulted, accused. I mean, he has been holding on to stuff that I didn't know he was holding on to. The fact that he didn't walk me down the aisle. Well, that wasn't something you deserved or earned. So, but what's interesting is there's a part of me that also still wants to give him the benefit of doubt, and that he's in his feelings. He didn't think my book is about what it is. He assumed that my book was putting his business out on Front Street and talking about him, how horrible of a father he was, maybe. I don't know, but clearly he didn't know that my book is about what it's about. I don't think I'll feel the need to cry again, because I feel like I got it out of me.
So he mentioned something to the effect of like Dell's not mature, or she needs to grow up, or whatever. And I think what he attributes to maturity is this idea that you are okay with the people in your life who did you wrong. And I feel like she is even okay with it, but okay. The problem that people have with Dell is Dell tells the truth. People don't want necessarily the truth out there and not on their terms. So I think that that's his issue. He doesn't see that as being mature and having grown, because you're still dealing with stuff that happened so many years ago. But what I feel like he doesn't realize is that those things affect people for however long they affect them.
And even bigger than that, he has never apologized to me for not being in my life. He barely acknowledges the fact that he wasn't in my life. He acknowledges it in that my mom kicked him out, and my mom this, and my mom that, and I tried to do this, and I tried, but he never once said, but I'm sorry that you grew up without me in your life. He's never acknowledged anything. Like, even when I was asking him about his problem with me mentioning that I was a product of an adulterous affair, he couldn't, for a very long time, just admit the fact that he was a married man. Like, how do you try to avoid simply declaring the truth? You know what? I feel like I didn't deserve to be treated like this. Like, I didn't do anything to him or to his family that would warrant him feeling these feelings that he has towards me.
So wasn't it a situation where one of your siblings wasn't invited to the wedding?
Yeah.
And
he mentioned that as well. So I have 3 older sisters. The oldest has passed away. The middle sister of the 3 above me, I did not invite her to my vow renewal ceremony because she and I don't have a relationship, and she made it clear, not to me, but to the sister that I have spoken to, who has accepted me and spent time with me. She told her that to be a part of my life would be dishonoring her mother or their mother. And it's like, you know, okay, I don't have a relationship with her. She's never reached out to me. She's never expressed an interest in me whatsoever, even when I was corresponding with the youngest of the 3 of them. So why am I going to invite you to a vow ceremony?
So some would say it's a decent thing to do, but Dell does stuff based on relationship.
I don't do things necessarily based on decency. Like, the decent thing to do is to be authentic. You don't necessarily care for me, so why would I invite you to a ceremony that is, you know, for intimate and close family and friends? Just because we're biologically related doesn't mean anything. I have somewhat of at least a little bit of a history where, you know, the sister that's closest to me, we had seasons of talking like almost every other day, and I like her. I'm not saying I dislike the other one, but I don't know you to like or dislike you. I don't do things just out of formality. I'm in charge. But he has a lot of hang-ups as it relates to the way that I am.
I didn't like a lot of stuff that he had to say in the joint. You know, first and foremost, love is not just a feeling, it's an action. You have to show people you love them. I feel like, why do you wait until an opportunity arises for you to be able to speak to what you speak to? So I feel like that speaks to a lack of relationship. You know, you never call, you never reach out, you never say, hey, I know you feel the way that you feel, but let me set the record straight, or let me ask this, or let me ask that. But that never happens. He just holds on to stuff and then unleashes this fury of wrong opinions and Bible verses kind of sprinkled in to basically say, God forgives all, you should forgive me too.
Yeah, but you ain't repent. How about that? How about you repent? How about you ask for forgiveness? How about that? I mean, and the funny thing is, I had to forgive him anyways.
I think overall we just rock differently, and it's evident that because you don't know Dell, you don't understand why she rocks the way that she rocks.
Yeah. I mean, I would think there's a part of me that still wants to believe what I saw back then. I'm okay with who he is and where he is now, you know, but I just feel like he's continuing to hurt the little girl that he abandoned, you know?